Quazi here. Listen to me. It's no secret that behind the closed doors of secret societies and underground fraternities across the world, there's hidden knowledge that could shake up your entire conception of reality as you know it. With their use of mysterious rituals, strange symbols, and ancient traditions, are these secret societies able to access secret powers that allow them to achieve things that we outsiders couldn't even comprehend? After a recent discovery, I may have found the answer. But first, let's go back to the start. One of the most renowned secret societies that most people know of are the Freemasons, with their all-seeing eyes and complicated handshakes. But what most people don't know is that deep within their ranks exists an inner circle of important members who are trusted with the most secretive and powerful teachings and rituals. This rank is also known as the 33rd degree Mason. And today, our guide to gaining access to these Masonic secrets is Manly Palmer Hall, famed scholar, philosopher, and 33rd degree Freemason himself. By being accepted into this inner circle, he was invited to learn these secrets that were purposely kept hidden from outsiders like you and me. In Hall's writings, there is a repeated evidence of a power he calls magnetism. He talks about how magnetism was harnessed by ancient priests and magicians and cultures. Through their special tools, rituals, occult symbolism, they could influence energy and access supernatural realms. But here's the thing. The vast majority of the population has no idea how powerful magnetism could be in their day-to-day lives. But the 33rd degree Freemason knew it was so much more. They believed it to be an invisible web linking all matter and beings across the universe together. Hall even claimed that the air itself carries magnetism from the sun, surrounding us in an energy field, stating that our own thoughts, emotions, and actions shape our personal magnetic bubble. Now, this leads me to believe that how we construct our internal world with our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes ultimately determines our external reality. Could this be true? Well, by decrypting Hall's wisdom, we too can take advantage of this knowledge unknown to the masses that allow you to tap into those reality creation secrets. And it was this exact knowledge that's been used by some of the most powerful men in history. This is why I'm creating today's video, to answer this one question that's been playing on my mind. What was it that they knew that we don't? If you feel the same way and you want to fully understand the secrets to becoming a true creator of your own reality and use these methods that were once strictly guarded and only available to a small group of elite individuals, then make sure you stick around to the very end of this video, where I'm going to share with you exactly what I've discovered. So in order to fully understand Hall's concept of magnetism, we have to first understand how magnets function in the first place. If you look at a magnet, it has attractive qualities. Just like a magnet, our internal world also has attractive qualities, and what it attracts are external circumstances. And this is primarily by our thought and our feeling. Together, we attribute a particular type of attention towards something. And for most people, we have positive attention, negative attention, neutral attention. When we attribute positive and negative attention to something, we attract those things into our lives. So attraction can be positive and negative, and it is solely influenced by our attention. Now, here's the important thing. You have to understand, attention doesn't work like a traditional magnet. You might think that if I'm thinking negatively about something, I'm going to repel it, like the same poles of a magnet. That's not true. What happens instead is whenever we have a negative attention towards something, aka hate something, we get more of what we hate and more of what we love. For example, you were trying to avoid something from happening so bad, and the more you thought about avoiding it, the more it happened. You hate a certain kind of person, but you keep attracting that same kind of person into your life. You hate the same thing happening every single month in your business, and for some reason you keep attracting that same situation. Maybe you're a trader or something and you're trying to avoid failing, and the more you avoid taking bad trades, the more you hate taking bad trades, the more you start to take bad trades, and you fall into this feedback loop where you just can't help but think negatively all the time. You've begun to condition yourself to only think negatively. Thus, you attract more negative circumstances in your life like a magnet. This is how the internal world works. We get more of what we hate and more of what we love. The crucial distinction here is when you think negatively about something and you attract negative circumstances, you're actually doing this unconsciously because you're not choosing to think negatively. It's an unconscious choice. On the other hand, if you want to attract things into your life consciously, we must use positive attention. Being grateful, liking, loving, focusing on the thing that you do want rather than the thing that you do not want. What we want to do is utilize positive attention. Most people don't know how to do this. We're very, very good at fearing because society has conditioned us to always be in a state of fear. You look at the news, you look at people around you, someone's worried about something. Oh, you know, times are bad right now. That's how I justify not making enough money to get by. That's how I justify not growing my business. That's how I justify my YouTube channel not succeeding. That's how I justify everything. People are in this mode of justification for why they are failing, but that's a cop-out. We're doing a cop-out excuse and keeping ourselves stuck in the same position by justifying why we should be stuck. Therefore, we get more of that because that's what we truly believe, right? So with this negative attention, when you attribute it, when you think more intensely about the object of your hatred, then you get more of that object. Life doesn't care about the nature of your attention. Positive and negative both have the same power. It only cares about the content of your attention. If I talk more about how I hate bills and I hate failing and I hate putting myself out there and getting rejected in sales opportunities, then that's what's going to keep happening. That's the content. The key to utilizing positive attention is to use your heart and your mind. I'm going to draw a brain here. This is supposed to be a brain. Whenever we utilize our attention, there is a unity in heart and mind. Whenever you hate something, you come together in your thought and you come together in what you feel in your body. Please take a moment to think about this. Our feelings are occurring subconsciously, just like your heartbeat, just like your breath, just like the contractions and expansions in your muscle. It's happening subconsciously. But the thought is conscious. So the feeling is subconscious and the thought is conscious. When we get our subconscious and conscious completely aligned, anything that we want will happen. When you hate something, your mind and your heart come together. When you love something, your mind and your heart also come together. So the mission for us is to train ourselves to get our heart and mind in one line, congruent, aligned, so that we can attract more and more of the thing that we love into our lives. What's the best way to do this? Undoubtedly, over the past 8 years that I've been on this journey, and I've gone from living a life that I completely hated to literally having everything that I want and waking up grateful every single day, the one thing, the one technique or methodology that's really helped me and over 1,000 clients that we work with is visualization. Visualization is one of the most powerful ways for you to place yourself in that ideal scene that you want to manifest and attract it like a magnet into your life. You create a mental picture of your ideal scene, and you feel the feelings that you would feel if you were in that ideal scene right now. That is the most crucial thing. And every single teaching, every single successful person that I know of visualizes. They, in one way or another, visualize. If you look at people like Elon Musk, he's become very, very successful. And I know he's a controversial character, but he's still become successful. He's the richest man in the world. You know, some may call it success. You may not. He's achieved something that he wants to achieve. The reason people want to achieve things that they want to achieve is because their heart and mind are congruent. They're fully focused on where they want to move towards. Every single law of attraction manifestation teaching talks about visualization. Neville Goddard talks about visualization. Charles Haanel talks about visualization in the Master Key System. One of the most important quotes that I actually recently saw in Master Key System when I was reading it was this: make the mental image, make it clear, distinct, perfect. Hold it firmly, the ways and means will develop. Supply will follow the demand. You will be led to do the right thing at the right time and in the right way. It could not have been said more beautifully. what most people misunderstand is I gotta go and take the right action and do the right thing. They're more concerned with the action and the external aspect of it, without getting an understanding of where this cause and effect chain is beginning from, what the real cause is. The real cause is the internal world. This whole world is internal. The fact that you take action is an expression of your internal world. Everything is an expression of the internal world. You have to first keep your internal world intact and cultivate it the correct way. And I know of no better way to do this than visualization. So what I want to do is talk to you about 3 main keys that you must understand to master the art of visualization, because I know a lot of people have trouble with this and there's tons of misconception regarding visualization. A lot of people think, oh, you can't, visualize the process and you can't visualize the how. You have to focus on the end goal. I'm going to clear all of those misconceptions and share with you a system that's foolproof, worked for me for the past 7-8 years, and has allowed me to step by step create the dream life that I wanted to create. The number one thing we have to understand is that there are 2 types of visualization. There is what's known as goal visualization, and there is what's known as process visualization. If you do not understand this, you will never be successful with visualizing. I can guarantee you that. Now, the misconception people have here is, I mustn't worry about the how. The universe will worry about the how, so you shouldn't process visualize. It's garbage. You go up to a serious business owner who's actually made it in their lives and you're like, don't worry about the action. Just sit on your couch and just visualize the goal and everything will happen. There is some truth to that. See, this is the misconception with mindset and action. People think mindset and action are 2 separate things. They're not. Action is an expression of mindset. Action actually makes you consolidate your mindset. If you feel like a confident person and you go out there and take confident action, you're giving yourself evidence that you are a confident person indeed. Action is like a reinforcing of this mindset, of this internal world that you're trying to create. You have to understand what goal visualization is and what process visualization is. Goal visualization is when we focus on an end. You're focusing on an end goal. To give you an example of this, when I started off in this journey 4 years ago, I desperately wanted to make $20,000 a month from a business that gave me freedom. That was my end goal at that time. But remember, no goal is an end goal. Every goal is a process. And also every process is an end. In reality, there is one main type of visualization, which is visualizing the outcome. But it needs to be broken down in 2 main parts because you need to be able to conceive of milestones for you to get to the goal. When I visualized that 20K a month, I didn't set myself a deadline on when I wanted to reach it. I said it would be great if I reached it within a year from now, because back then I was making 5K a month in a job that I hated. If I visualize that 20K a month, what are the steps for me to get from my current reality to that desired reality of 20K a month? Now we're getting somewhere. This is where process visualization comes in. This is more focused on your day-to-day life and how everything that you're doing, every step that you're taking, every breath that you're breathing is leading you to 20K months. Oh, I made a YouTube video, somehow this is leading me to those 20K months. Oh, I created a new website, somehow this is getting me to 20K months. To summarize this a little bit more to make it clearer for you, goal visualization is when I focus on that next big milestone that I want to get to, that I do not know how to get to it. If you do not know how to get to a goal, it is sufficient for you to stick to goal visualization, because what happens is, according to that quote that I just showed you, you will be led to do the right thing at the right time and in the right way. That is when the idea for the process will come to you. As I visualized that 20K month, I had the idea to start up a YouTube channel. Now that forms the basis for your process visualization. When I had the idea of starting up a YouTube channel, I visualized having a successful YouTube channel, making really, really great videos and changing lives and people responding really well to my videos and people becoming successful with my videos. But keep in mind, back then I didn't know how to monetize my YouTube videos. For all I know, I was going to sell merch like my 2 best friends at the time. But that wasn't the right way for me. And so as I kept visualizing the 20K months and I kept visualizing making better videos, people started to reach out to me for coaching. And I had no idea people would pay for coaching. And so I monetized that. That was when I had that eureka moment. So if you do not know how to get to that goal that you want to get to, it is sufficient for you to visualize the ideal scene. Connect your heart and your mind together to focus on the thing that you want. Maybe a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever it is that's the next big milestone that you would like to accomplish in your life. And process visualization is when you focus on every single day how every breath you take, how every step you take is leading you to that goal. Another example I can give you is if you're an artist, your main goal is to make great art and maybe, let's say, build up a portfolio of a certain amount of art or make a certain amount of money with your art, right? Every single day you're visualizing the process of you. Somehow your artwork is getting better and better every single day. And even though you can't visualize what the final piece looks like, this is where process visualization comes in. You think and you feel the art getting better. You can't see what it looks like, but you feel what it feels like when you're making great art. And what will happen is the right things will happen at the right time and you will make the right kind of art. And for me, that's what I visualize. I don't know what the end product of the video looks like. I can't visualize it. But what I can do is feel what it feels like to make a really great solid video, and I really get into that feeling. Because when your feelings and your thoughts, again, are in one line, you get this unity of heart and mind, you're utilizing that positive attention, and you're attracting like a magnet those circumstances that will actually happen in your life. What you're essentially doing is entering this being state, that assumption that Neville Goddard would say. When we make the assumption, we operate from the end state, we attract all of the circumstances that complement that like a magnet. Does that make sense? Good. The next thing you have to be able to do is train yourself to visualize. Every single successful person whose autobiography I've read or who I've heard of, who I've seen, is a very vivid visualizer. If you're at this point right now, I get a lot of these comments that I have aphantasia, I can't visualize. It might be the case that you don't know how to visualize, but it also might be the case that you just do not have the capability of visualizing. In that case, it's okay. It's not a huge deal. As long as you still get heart and mind unity, you'll be fine. This is the main goal. You might say to yourself, you might affirm to yourself, you might feel what it feels like to have the thing that you want. You need not visualize. You only need to get your thought and your feeling in one line. If you are someone who can visualize, I encourage you to train it to the strongest, the best of your ability that you can. And the best way to do this, the best way I've done this, to be honest with you, I did a lot of complex visualization when I was in college because I had an engineering degree and I had to visualize complex shapes, different quadratic equations and how graphs would look like and how to plot them in 3 dimensions, different physics exercises, different thought experiments. I was reading Albert Einstein's autobiography and he would just do these mental exercises. And that's how he came with the theory of relativity. He imagined himself on a train and imagined what would happen if this train were going at the speed of light. He would put things in space in his mind and he would imagine what would happen if that were the case. This is what needs to happen. You need to train your visualization. Every single social media company is trying to suck your attention into their platforms. You don't even have time to sit down and be bored. Back in the day, when I was a kid, when my parents' parents were kids, they would be bored all the time because they wouldn't be constantly preoccupied with something. So they would sit down and visualize. Their imagination is what would keep them out of boredom. One of the most powerful things you can do is take an hour out of the day to do absolutely nothing and just use your mind, just stare into space, use your mind to daydream or create different thought exercises. But another thing you can do to properly train it, and I recommend this because this is what I did, is to create a 1-page vision board. Go to Google, find images that correspond to your ideal life. Anything that corresponds to health, wealth, relationships, spirituality, these 4 areas of your life. Put that in there. So I remember putting in a red Ferrari on that 1-pager. I put a picture of myself in there and I photoshopped myself with like a supermodel. And then I put a picture of a mansion in there. I put pictures of my mentors in there, me hanging out with my mentors. 99% of those things have happened. The other 1% of things I've just lost interest for because I don't want a Ferrari, I don't want the mansion. I could afford it, but I just don't want it because it doesn't interest me anymore. So that's basically what's gonna happen if you keep doing this. And what I recommend is once you make that 1-pager, keep it right next to you, like your nightstand, okay? And visualize it every morning and every night before bed. Do this for 30 days straight. Once you look at the picture, close your eyes and place yourself in that scene in those different circumstances. Focus hard to try and bring yourself into that scene again and again. Picture yourself in different scenes in your life after the goal has been achieved. The crucial part is do this after you've already achieved everything that you want to achieve. Once you do this for 30 days, you're going to be shocked at how good you become at visualizing. That's the second part. The third and final part is one of the most powerful exercises that I've been using for the past 2 years that has made rapid progress in my life. And this is called the ball of light exercise. And the goal here is to get us into this heart and mind coherence. And how we do this is simply you concoct that visualization, that scene that you want, whether this be in the process or the goal visualization. And what you do is you hold it and you imagine that it's accumulating into a ball of light in your brain. And then you exhale sharply and you send that ball up to God, or you send that ball up to the universe. Every single time you visualize, simply do that. And your visualization sessions don't need to be 15 minutes long. They don't need to be 10 minutes long. Heck, they don't even need to be 1 minute long. The best thing to do is to have frequent 15-second visualizations throughout the day. Except in the morning and at night before bed, you may make it a little bit longer, okay? So hold that image in your mind's eye and send it. Because the crucial thing we're doing is we're using another deep principle of reality, which is effort and surrender. We need to put effort in visualizing the thing that we want, and then we need to surrender it to God. We're sending it up to the universe, and the universe is crafting it, concocting it, and making all of the right circumstances come into one line for us. I cannot tell you what will happen to your life if you keep doing this for 30 days. So you can combine this ball of light exercise with any goal that you visualize or any process that you visualize throughout the day. And you can even combine it with this scene visualization that you're doing when you have that one pager. I made a video on identity shifting. What I truly believe is once you shift into that ideal self, when you become who you want to be, the doing gets taken care of, and the having also gets taken care of. So the main mission for us is to be who we must be, the version of ourselves that's effortlessly attracting all of the abundance, all of the health and wealth that we want, and simply stay as that character, stay as that identity for as long as we can. When you hold it long enough, who you pretend to be is who you become. I've made the most comprehensive video on identity shifting. It's the thing that's helped over 1,000 clients that we work with, and the thing that's helped me go from that corporate soul-sucking 9-to-5 job that I hated to starting up my business, growing it to over $1 million a year, doing that every single year for the past 4 years. If you want to access that, I go through a thing in there called the programming document, which a lot of our current clients have even found so valuable. And I've made it completely free for you to access. Okay, this is my life's work, and I've put so much work into it. I know you're gonna love it, so you can just click right here. It's completely free, and it's 40 minutes long. It's one of the most detailed videos you're gonna see. So click here to access that, and I'll see you in this next video right now.